Hey guys, welcome back. It's Josh with the Financial Advisor Car Guy. This week we're gonna turn our focus back to the Audi R8. I haven't talked about this in a bunch of weeks, and so I wanted to circle back with you guys with kind of an update. So, as you know, I've had the car literally 2 years to almost the day. I love the car. If you guys want a refresher, watch old videos. You'll see and hear and learn all about the car, kind of how I bought it, why I bought it, all those things. Well, what I wanted to do now is kind of go back and tell you I made a blunder with the car. I've now owned it 2 years, and I just took it in for its first maintenance. So not good, you guys. I'll start by saying automotive maintenance should happen once a year at a minimum. So it had just been serviced when I bought the car before they loaded it up on the truck and brought it up to me. They sent me the inspection report. Everything looked great. Everything was fine. I wasn't concerned. The first year I drove it, I babied the crap out of this car. I think I put 500 miles on it in the first year, maybe less than that. Now I've owned it 2 years. I've put something like 1,500 miles on it. Still not a lot, but I would bet that I've probably put 500 miles on it in the last couple months. I've been driving it a lot more regularly. I want to enjoy it. I really want to get out there and have a good time with it. And so the long and short of it is I hadn't put many miles on it. It is stored inside my garage. Very rarely is it sitting outside. So it doesn't get left out in the cold weather. It doesn't get any of that stuff. So I wasn't really concerned, but I knew I was overdue for kind of an inspection service. Now, these cars have big inspections at 20, 40, 60, 80, and 100,000 miles. When I bought the car, it had 39.7. Now I'm at 41.4 or something like that. And they had done the 40,000 mile inspection when the car was sold. So I figured I'd take it in just for a routine oil change and, kind of a general inspection. So I call a specialty shop. They specialize in exotics. I'm not going to say their name because I mean, what I'm going to tell you isn't good or bad. It's not a big deal, but I don't want them to think that I dislike their service or anything. I will take the car back. But all that to say, when I called to schedule an appointment, the guy says, "Oh man, an Audi R8, yeah, that's great. We don't see too many of those. We would love an opportunity to get to know your car. So what we'd like to do, because this is the first time it's been in, is we'd like to not only do an oil change, but we'd also like to do a 175-point bumper-to-bumper inspection, just so we can get acquainted with the car. We want to learn all about it, what's going on, check all the things." And that's that. I thought to myself, okay, well, I mean, I have not done any servicing to the car. It's probably a good idea. It does get a local shop to kind of have a perspective on the car. So, long and short of it is I agree. I dropped the car off on a Wednesday. Actually, I dropped it off Tuesday night for a Wednesday appointment. No, that's not true. I dropped it off Wednesday night for a Thursday appointment. And I had a meeting late in the day. They actually close at 6. I didn't get done with my meeting until almost 6, and they're 35 minutes away. So I was not able to get to them in time. Well, the next day, a nonprofit that I'm a part of had a fancy dinner function, and we got to the location at 3 o'clock. I thought that I was just gonna set up for a little while. Well, anyway, the long and short of it was I didn't get back to them in time, and they closed. So now they're not open over the weekend, and they're not open on Mondays. And so now they're going to keep my car inside their temperature controlled shop, and everything is fine, but they're going to keep the car through the weekend. And so it ended up being kind of a fiasco. And they ended up having the car for like 5 days. And by the time I went to collect it the following week, I get in there and I have a little bit of sticker shock. They hand me the invoice, and nowhere on there's storage fees, nowhere on there's any of that stuff. So they weren't dinging me for letting them park my car over the weekend, but their inspection took, 5 or 6 hours they spent on the car. So on top of, a couple $100 for oil and filter and all that stuff, brace yourselves. You may want to sit down if you're standing, but the ticket, the ticket that I had to pay was about $790. It's like a car payment, guys. That's insane. Now, again, it was more than just an oil change. They did a full inspection. I learned that my front brakes have 25% life left. The back ones have like 60%. I learned that the tires are still plenty good. I learned that the shocks are leaking, all 4 of them. So actually right down here in this box here are brand new shocks for the car. So I already had those, and I'm gonna schedule a time to have them put those in. But the long and short of it is the car checked out perfect. There's 0 things wrong with the car, no leaks, no squeaks, nothing other than those shocks. And I have replacements. So it was money well spent. And again, I'm not mad at them. I'm frustrated because I didn't know it was gonna cost that much, but moving forward, it shouldn't cost that again because they've already done this big inspection. They've already had the car kind of in their shop under their bumper to bumper thing. And now they'll know what to look for when this car goes back in for servicing again. They did agree once a year is fine, unless I'm putting more than 3,000 or 4,000 miles on it in a year. They basically said a lot of guys will do this, right? They drive their cars in the summer, park it all winter long, bring it out in the spring, and bring it in for their maintenance and just do it once a year. That's fine. That's fine. But again, the sticker shock was a little bit crazy. Fortunately, like I said, I knew I'd never put a dime into this car from a maintenance standpoint, so it was long overdue. I'm not mad about it, and I will give them my business again. But for those of you that have this type of car, make sure you're looking at it regularly. Make sure you're having annual services done. Make sure you find a shop that you know, you like, you trust, you know is not gonna just charge you things for charging you things. All things being fair, the report they gave me was pretty extensive. And, I could tell they did check off 100 plus things. And so again, they did their job. And I don't know what their shop rate is. It's gotta be like $100 an hour or more. I mean, a lot of places it's a lot more than that. And I think parts and material for the oil change was like $160. And then it was like $600 of labor. So hopefully we don't have to do that annually. That's a very expensive service for, again, what I thought was gonna be just a pretty simple oil change. But all that to say, I'm gonna go back. I appreciated them. I trust them. They had high-end Porsches, Lamborghinis, Ferraris. They've got all this stuff there. They work on it all regularly, Mercedes, BMWs, all that stuff. So again, I trust their work. I've taken other cars to them before and I'd never had this sticker shock issue, but you know what? Times have changed. Things are more expensive. Labor costs a lot more today than it did 4, 5, 6 years ago when I was in there last. In fact, it was probably like 9 or 10 years ago when I was in there last. It was an old Audi all-road that I had. And that car was a nightmare. I should probably do an episode about that thing too at some point. But anyway, the long and short of it's just, they are what they are, right? I mean, these cars require maintenance. And when, I don't want to say neglected because it wasn't neglected, but when not handled in a timely fashion, you get stuck paying these bigger bills to make sure everything's spot on the way they're supposed to be. So I'm going to warn you, that's the cautionary tale as far as having a car like this and going into these maintenance checkups, if you will, just kind of with your eyes wide open. So that's all I got for you guys this week. Don't forget to comment down below if there's anything you'd like to add. But like, subscribe, share, hit that notification bell, and most importantly, remember, may every investment you make be a good one. Till next time.